Good morning, everybody. Woo, come on in, baby. Coming in hot this morning. All right. Good morning, guys. We're going to go ahead and get this show on the road. We'll have some more committee members. They're on their way. We got rules going on, blah, 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 bad weather, uh, Super Bowl slowdown, if you will. So, what they say, this is the least productive day of the year, is the Monday after the Super Bowl. So, maybe they'll look at moving that thing to a Saturday so we can all get some rest on Sunday. But, we have before you Chairman Tyler Paul Smith, House Bill 549, if you'll go ahead and present. And then obviously there's folks online and in the crowd that want to speak. We'll have you up as well, but we just want to get this thing going so we don't run into floor session.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. It's good to have a old seatmate, new seatmate, old roommate, and actual suite mate here in the Capitol here this morning. I bring to you House Bill 549. This is the Georgia Statewide Music Office Act. I'll remind members of the committee that this act passed overwhelmingly last year. And so, just to basically tell you what this bill will do, it comes from a recommendation from the Joint House and Senate Music Heritage Study Committee, which was a bipartisan committee that met throughout the state. Actually, I believe that was the fall of 2022. It's a straightforward bill that establishes a Georgia Music Office and a Music Commission that will work within economic development. Just so members of the committee know this, other states that currently have dedicated music offices are Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado. States that have music divisions within their economic departments, entertainment offices are Louisiana, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Illinois, California. And while Georgia currently has a film, music, and digital entertainment office, it primarily focuses on the film industry. The study committee found and recommended that a separate office focusing on Georgia music is essential to sustaining and growing the industry. As members of the committee will remember, we heard from Brendan Anthony with the Texas Music Office during the study committee that their dedicated music offices played an integral role in the Texas music ecosystem by connecting communities across the state and helping to recruit music businesses to the state. You'll note that the Texas Red Dirt Country Music movement is huge and has been flourishing. This office would focus on the statewide support, promotion, and cultivation of Georgia's growing music industry. The mission of the office will be to create opportunity and connect businesses, serve as a clearinghouse for Georgia music industry information, serve as a liaison between business, music businesses, and government offices and agencies, publicize significant developments within the music industry, and attract essential music industries to foster the economic development of music businesses and musicians in Georgia. It would also create a Georgia Music Advisory Council, an advisory council consisting of 8 members and 1 chairperson appointed by the governor, whose mission shall include raising awareness of the rich and thriving music industry in Georgia. This office would organize and champion the industry, promoting communication across sectors and implementing a greater statewide music strategy connecting all counties. The creation of this office is, of course, subject to appropriations. I will note that for anyone watching the Super Bowl last night, Georgia music talent was on very, very vivid display. And I must say that myself and all of us here, I'm sure, are very proud of the artists that were there last night. And many of us grew up at certain times in our life listening to that music. Some of y'all may have been a little older listening to it, but nevertheless, I think every member here this morning was very glad to reminisce last night with a great Georgia Super Bowl halftime show. So, with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll just add that the latest figure I saw, you've got northwards of $2.7 billion that the music industry already does here in this state. I would say that we're losing out to Nashville pretty handily right now. That's the one that comes to mind, and these other states that I've included. Georgia's musical talent has to move north or west to really see a career thrive, unfortunately. And so we're really hopeful that with this, we'll have a standalone committee. And just so everyone knows, there may be some thoughts among the committee as far as what this would cost for the state. Well, I can tell you that the return, this is different than the film industry and the taxation that we can collect as a state. The products that are created here in Georgia in the music industry, as I understand it, unless it's changed within the last few days, this is revenue that we can collect in perpetuity due to the difference in the trademark rights and copyright laws as far as film versus the music industry. So, that, Mr. Chairman, I know we have a couple of witnesses that are here to testify on this rainy Monday morning, and so whenever the appropriate time is.
See if we have any questions for Tyler Paul. Anybody got any questions? No questions. All right. Let's go on. Oh, sorry. 1 second.
Bill,
Go ahead, sir.
just real quick. I mean, this is a great bill. I appreciate y'all bringing it up. Extremely important that we could focus on music as an industry. Would there be any appetite to potentially allow the Speaker of the House a couple of appointments? Maybe the Lieutenant Governor a couple appointments to spread it out a little bit. That's an awful lot of appointments for one committee. Just a suggestion, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Good question. All righty. If I tell you what we're going to do, let's go online first. If everybody's okay with it, we're going to get our online person off, and then we'll go to the audience as well. See if we can figure this out. Media services hopefully sees this. It's always fun. It's a great hat. Good morning. Golly, maybe he's going to.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we got you, dog. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Well, yes, good morning. And yeah, thank you, Chairman and committee members. And I'd also like to thank Chairman Smith for supporting this bill. My name is Jared Hall, and I'm a musician, a music educator, and a music producer. And I proudly call Savannah, Georgia, my home with my wife and 2 children. I'm speaking with you this morning from Garrison School for the Visual and Performing Arts here in Savannah, Georgia, where I teach. I'm a voting member of the Grammy Awards, an endorsed musician with Hammond Organ USA, and an active member with the Georgia Music Educators Association. I currently teach elementary music here in Savannah, Chatham County Public Schools at Garrison School for the Arts. I also perform and produce concerts with the Savannah Music Festival, the Savannah Stopover Festival, and the Savannah Jazz Festival. And I'm part of numerous musical projects throughout our rich musical community here in Savannah. I'm speaking with you today to ask for your support of the Bill 549, the Georgia Statewide Music Act. This office is imperative to guide key investments and policies, regulatory changes for sustainability and growth, and the musical economic impact to our state. We have such a rich history of music, as Chairman Smith was talking about, and presently as we watched at the Super Bowl last night. This bill would be very important and impactful to many cities also outside of the greater Atlanta metro area. One of my dear friends who I worked with in Austin, Texas is Brendan Anthony, who is currently the director of the Texas Music Office. And he has seen the tremendous growth in Texas. And although they've had that office for 30 years, the growth has been substantial recently, and they've seen an incredible return of investment with that. While they have 2 times the population of Georgia, the economic impact of music in Texas is 4 times what we have. They developed a widely successful music-friendly Texas program, which has certified over 55 communities in their state, which has led the way to greater economic development and quality of life in those smaller communities. Education is a key part of this legislation as well. Let's also think about the future of our students in our state. We want to retain them and have them stay in Georgia to work. I firmly believe that music does even more than build their future and their leadership skills. Music education doesn't just fill the world with better music, fills the world with better people. The influence of music education will forever shape their future and our state's future. Without a statewide effort, cities like Savannah, Macon, Columbus, and Augusta, they're coming together to promote and educate the leaders on the impact and opportunities to develop music investments at the local level. As with the film industry in Georgia, it's important to incentivize and promote our smaller music-friendly communities. I know that Savannah is very rich in music industry. The economic impact of the Savannah Music Festival, for instance, is pretty amazing. We're looking at the reported $8.6 million in 2023 in direct spending with the Savannah Music Festival alone, which includes $6 million in direct visitor spending. We have several new music recording studios in Savannah, one of them which Dave Cobb, who is a numerous Grammy-winning producer, has his studios here in Savannah and wishes to keep bringing people to Savannah to record as opposed to going to Nashville. He's produced artists such as Chris Stapleton, John Prine, Jason Isbell, and Brandy Carlisle. We have a very booming tourism industry here in the state, and we'd like to have the music office to assist with the advancement and promotion of music tourism, music manufacturing, music technology, and music education. Over $100 million of investment has been spent for venues and studios such as the End Market Arena here in Savannah and the District Live venue at Plant Riverside. District Live is also bridging the Live Nation concerts with the local Georgia Southern University, the Gretsch School of Music programming. And it's been supported and direct involvement with Fred and Dinah Gretsch. We have hundreds of musicians, music producers, engineers, music educators, and many other music industry professionals coming together and ready to make a real impact in the greater Savannah area alone. Having a state office to promote this would be imperative for future growth. One of our famous Savannah musicians and songwriters, actors, Johnny Mercer, wrote many famous songs, founded the great Capitol Records Company in Los Angeles. And just like our friends in the Georgia Film Office, it's time to retain our music professionals and bring the music business being offered in LA and Nashville back to our great state of Georgia. This bill is currently endorsed by the Savannah Music Festival, Grammy-winning producer Dave Cobb, the Backroom Record Studios, Bowen Schmidt Music Attorneys, the Savannah Jazz Festival, Fred and Dinah Gretsch, Chuck Lavelle from the Allman Brothers and currently the Rolling Stones, and the Georgia Music Educators Association, and over 100 other businesses from Georgia. So I ask for you to support House Bill 549 and to support Georgia music. Music is economic development. Thank you for your time today. And if I can be a resource to you at any time, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you very much for what you do in your presentation. I was going to look around the committee and see if anybody had any questions for you this morning. I will tell you they're all a little asleep still, so if they don't ask you a question, don't take it personally. I don't see any questions. Thank you for your time. Appreciate
Thank you
what
so much.
Have a great morning. Ooh. All right. We have some speakers in the audience. Anybody? Just come on up to the mic. We'll just do first come, first serve. Oh, she can go right over there. It's okay. And just introduce yourself and thank you so much for being here on Monday morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay.
Mhm.
Is this thing on? Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Carpenter and committee members. I also want to thank Chairman Smith for sponsoring this bill. My name is Tammy Luttrell. I am a multi-platinum songwriter, the Vice President of the Recording Academy Atlanta chapter, and the co-chair of the Advocacy Committee to where I've served since 2014. I'm also the owner of the Mezzo Agency. We are a full-service music business administration company here in Atlanta that assists music creators with managing and protecting their music rights and also finding royalties that are owed to them. Since I launched the company in 2018, we found and paid out over $1 million in royalties to music creators, money that they did not know that they had. We were recognized last year by the National Music Publishers Association as one of the 100 top publishers in the U.S. And in October, we were also awarded a $25,000 grant as a woman-owned small business by Damon John of Shark Tank, TriNet, and in collaboration with the NAACP to help us to continue to serve the music community. So I'm honored and I feel I'm very qualified to stand before you this morning because I know firsthand just how underserved the music community is. Georgia's music industry is rich and diversity spans every corner of the state. In fact, did you know that there were 91,529 registered songwriters in the state of Georgia? Yeah, and they have contributed to, like Chairman Smith said, to $2.7 billion to the state's GDP. Our music professionals were nominated for 36 Grammy Awards this year alone in categories from Christian contemporary, hip hop, Cajun, and even children's music. So we have incredible talent here, from singer-songwriters to top music attorneys and chart-topping producers. And we would love to see the state not only recognize and promote the successes, but of course to build on it for the future. An opportunity that we know other states, like was mentioned earlier, they have been very extremely successful in doing. Cities around the state haven't been investing in music through the schools, colleges, music festivals, expanding venues, but you know, we don't know who all is in every city. So there's no central hub to connect us all. So it's time for us to establish an office, a staff that understands, that sees that there is tremendous potential here in connecting our cities through this music tourism, workforce development, and of course, one that looks to bring music businesses to our state, more music businesses to our state. I ask for your support in HB 549 and to support Georgia music. Music is economic development. And thank you for your time. Any questions?
I don't see any questions, but great presentation.
Thank
I think
you.
that's huge. 91,000 songwriters in the
Yes.
state of Georgia. I hadn't heard that
I had
number.
a question.
Thank you for your presentation.
Sure. Thank you.
I have a
Thank
question.
you for being a rock star, for getting those millions back to the songwriters. Good for you. Do we have any other
This-
speakers today? Anybody? No?
This is Rep Moore. I have a
All right.
question.
I think that's all the speakers.
Okay.
The chairman would entertain a motion. We have a first and a second. Discussion? Any discussion? All those in
Rep Moore
favor,
has a question.
say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. Well, this will move on to rules. If you'll get that form, I'll fill it out for you on the floor. Appreciate you very much. Thank you. You guys have a great day. Sorry to wake you up this early. And just as a side note, Usher looked pretty cool on those roller skates last night. That's a real talent.